high-performing lookalike audiences that no one is talking about, and how I use them to get results like this. Hey guys, John from Verum Ecom here. Today you'll learn about a secret lookalike audience that has the potential to double your return on ad spend. This isn't clickbait either. This simple audience change really might let you get to the next level. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Real quick, here's the proof. These two campaigns are identical in every way except Campaign 1 targets the typical lookalike audience that most people make, and Campaign 2 targets the super lookalike we're about to discuss. As you can see, the small change has the potential to have a huge impact on the campaign's outcome. In our case, using super lookalikes in Campaign 2 led to a 35% cheaper cost per purchase compared to the original Campaign 1. Results like this probably make you want to test this for yourself, so let's get into it step by step. The first thing to do is pull up Facebook Business Manager, then click on the top left tab to open up the business panel. Now to make a lookalike audience, most people will go to the audiences page, but I told you guys this is a secret lookalike. So instead of going to the audiences tab right away, go to the analytics tab first. On the analytics page, you'll find separate lists of your Facebook pages and pixels. From here, select the pixel you want to make a lookalike audience from. Do not accidentally select the Facebook page. After selecting your Facebook pixel, you should end up on this page with a ton of stats to analyze. While these numbers can help you learn about your store's performance, we won't cover any of that today. Maybe we can cover that in a future video if you guys are interested. So ignore these numbers and instead go to this left-hand menu, click on this activity tab, then go into percentiles. It should take you to this page where you'll be making some really cool custom audiences that can't really be made anywhere else inside of Business Manager. Let me start by explaining this graph. It breaks down the number of pages that visitors to your site went to by percentile. For example, by hovering your mouse over spots on the graph, you can see 87% of visitors visited 2 pages, 22% visited 3 pages, 16% visited 4 pages, and so on. From this information, it's easy to see that some users engage way more often than others, or the way I look at it, not all visitors are created equal. Some visitors are way more engaged and therefore way more likely to make a purchase. Now the secret is that you can isolate the highly engaged group for a lookalike audience. Unlike making a traditional page view audience which combines everyone into one segment, our secret lookalike audience will only be based on the top 20% of page viewers or whatever other event we select. This will give us a highly targeted lookalike that I find performs dramatically better than traditional lookalikes. You can think of this in terms of the Pareto principle, which states that 80% of effects come from 20% of causes, or in the case of e-commerce, 80% of revenue comes from 20% of customers. Now we can take advantage of this principle by applying it to lookalike audiences. To start, make sure you're looking at the same screen as me. Next, take a look at how many page views the top 20% of your audience looked at. In this case, the top 20% of visitors triggered 3 page view events. Take this information and apply a filter up here to only select those people. Start with a new filter. We want people who triggered page views, so click on people who performed an event, then select page view. Next, we'll need to make sure everyone has seen at least 3 pages, so further refine by event count. Finally, select at least and then enter the number you got from the graph in the previous step, in this case 3. After applying the filter, your graph should change accordingly. In this case, you can see that the graph only includes people who have seen 3 pages or more. To explain what happened, our filter basically narrowed our original audience down to 23%, as shown by this purple button. This 23% segment was then expanded into a new population, which was broken down by percentiles again into this graph. The reason the graph displays slightly more than 20% of people is because for each number of page views, there's actually a range of percentiles that match, and in this case, it was actually 23% of people that saw 3 or more pages. Once you have the filter applied, make your custom audience from this new group of people. But first make sure that there's enough people in your new audience. To do that, hover over the purple button until it tells you the population within the filter. Ideally, you're looking for audiences over 1,000 people, but you can test audiences closer to 500. Just know that your pixel might not have enough data to make a good lookalike audience, and you might just have to wait until it does. After you confirm the filter's audience is over 1,000 people, click on the purple dropdown and select Make New Custom Audience. Give your new custom audience a name, select the ad account associated with your pixel, use the filter that you just made for the top 20%, then select the date range that you are using in the filter. We recommend using people in your audience from the past 90 days or less. We found that using bigger date ranges actually lowers the performance of lookalikes. Since Facebook's pixel will be optimizing for you over time, the data from your past 90 days will actually contain higher quality visitors right off the bat. Plus, since trends change over time, audiences for your product will also change slightly. So we recommend people from the past 90 days just to keep everything fresh and up to date. Of course, if you don't have enough people in your audience to only include 90 days, you can go ahead and expand this range. If you know for sure there's enough people in your audience though, go ahead and make your custom audience. Before making lookalikes from your new custom audience, let's discuss making a super lookalike for purchases as well. The filter for this audience will be slightly different since purchases are broken down by value rather than event count. Start by removing your old filter, then take a look at the graph for purchases. Now, just like you did for page views, take a look at the top 20%. Finally, add a new filter like we did before. This time we want people who performed an event, purchases where the sum of USD values were at least $83. Now, the only issue with this filter is that it requires a lot of ad spend before you'll have enough purchases to use 20%. As you can see, even on an account which has spent well into six figures, there's barely enough people to satisfy our 1,000 people rule. So if you want, you can raise the percentage of people included to increase the amount of data. For example, if you only have like 2,000 purchases, you can choose to include the top 50% rather than the top 20%. If you have enough people in your filter, go ahead and make a custom audience just like we did before in the previous step. Once you have the custom audiences made, go to the business panel, then go to audiences. On the audiences page, select the custom audience you just made and create a new lookalike. Then target worldwide using this filter. The reason we like to make worldwide lookalikes is because they allow you to choose the target location within each ad set individually, letting you target different countries across ad sets targeting the same lookalike. If you were to narrow the location while making the lookalike itself, you would have to make separate lookalikes for every country or region you want to target. Anyways, once you have worldwide selected, make lookalikes from percentages inclusive from 0%. For example, 0 to 1%, 0 to 2%, 0 to 3%, etc. You should end up with 10 lookalikes for each custom audience you made in the Analytics tab. Congrats, you just successfully made your super lookalike audiences. Go ahead and test them using our low budget or CBO ad strategy, which we covered in the previous videos. Also, as a bonus tip, we recommend you to try running a retargeting campaign aimed at your highest spending customers using the custom audience you just made for top 20% spenders. Just run some ads to the custom audience with a special thank you message and a small discount code for being a VIP customer. We only recommend implementing this kind of campaign if you have a multi-product store within a specific niche or a general store. The effectiveness of this campaign will also depend on your customer experience, so if you know your feedback score is not the best, then we don't recommend trying this. If you have private suppliers though, and you know that most of your customers are happy after receiving their first order, then definitely try this out. That's it for Verum Ecom's secret lookalike audience. If you learned something new from today's video, make sure to subscribe to the channel right now. Just click on the button below this video, and if you want some exclusive information or some personalized help, make sure to join our Facebook group. It's full of wonderful people that will be happy to help you out with anything related to dropshipping. And also, I do read all the comments, so leave me a note telling me what you want to see next. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.